Hello everybody, it looks like I'm live. I'm going to go post this on our website. Our website is denverguitarorchestra.com, and so I'm going to go post that real quick so that everybody knows this is going on. Post around here. Today is February 22nd, 2021. It appears to be more or less guitar lesson number 239. I think I had goofed up the numbering last week. I'll at some point double check that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter how many we've done. It just matters, helps me keep track of if I need to go back and fix something. It's easier for you to identify where the mistake is. Alright, so let's make sure that this link is working. Let me post here. My keyboard died. https:// Denver Guitar Orchestra.com, and I put that there, and then I put in a link up guitar, click there, tweet. Alright, so there's the guitar thing tweeted. Haven't looked at Twitter all weekend. Who cares? The Supreme Court delivers. Alright, looking at the front page of Yahoo. There's a crazy going on there. Close. Let me make sure that this opens up properly now. I'm going to click here. I'm going to leave page. Let's see what else is going on. Vic is in. She says the sound is good up in cloudy Eugene today. It's wintertime up in Eugene, Oregon, and so they tend to get cloudy days. Glad you're here, Vic. Good to see you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm going to double check my microphone is right here, just off the edge of the screen, which is where it's supposed to be. I always feel like it feels really far away from my face. And then I have a second microphone here, which is sort of designed to pick up something between my voice and the guitar. So anyway, that's what's going on. Evelyn is in. George Washington's real birthday, she reports, which we have not been paying to enough attention to. Sound is good. 65 degrees down in Cuenca today, and cloudy. Oh, it's cloudy. Usually, that's interesting. I don't remember you getting. I guess you get all the weather every day, right? Yeah, interesting. So let's see, 10:06. Today we are going, we have three kind of what I'd consider to be a little more approachable songs to get through, and so it won't take us too long. But then I did over the weekend put up the first page of the Segovia Patterns. And I'm trying really hard not to be judgmental of them. So we'll take a look at those a little bit today and see how those come along. Let's see, Elizabeth made it in. I have to. She got a dentist appointment tomorrow. Okay. Well, let's see. Playing guitar is number one. Getting your teeth fixed is number two. And you're going to try to flip those two. So. I guess I say your guitar, and then your personal health, and then your family and God and country, right? No, we got to take care of our bods because this is a hard activity, and if you're not taking care of, if we're not taking care of our bods, then our music doesn't come out very good. All right, the other thing I need to do, I did not put the patterns, the Segovia stuff into this computer yet, so let me go grab those. You're getting tuned up today, and pulling up Farmer in the Dell is our first thing. Farmer in the Dell, the lesson is fundamentally the same as Frere Jacques. It's actually a little bit easier to play, and we really do want to focus in on holding that A chord throughout. So give me just one more second, and I will have this downloaded properly. Whoops, let's go back. Oops, hit the wrong button. My zeal to keep everything organized. Sometimes I overdo it a bit. Alright, so I think I put it in. Did I put it in handouts? I did. Alright, there's that. I'm going to go over here, download it into guitar. Go back to the cloud. Segovia Patterns PDF. That's what we're going to be working on. Now, for those of you guys that are working on studying Segovia or classical music without tablature, it doesn't take much of an internet search to find the original Segovia scales sitting around on the internet. They are technically still under copyright, and so it's interesting to me that they're so readily available. But what are you going to do? There they are. So let's go in and grab. We'll do those last. Right now, I'm just making sure it got into where I think it's supposed to have ended up. Guitar. And of course, if you can't find them, I'd be more than happy to send you the PDF of the ones that I found on there, and for your personal study, right? I won't be posting those up on our website, obviously. So yeah. All right, here we go. Farmer in the Dell. Let's knock that guy out. So for those of you who are newer, we are again double checking the lesson, the basic lessons that I'm hoping you will have gotten at this point. Let's see. Oh, Pauline, Pele made it in. Hey, Pele, I thought you'd be at work today. Good to see you, Pele. Pauline, good morning. It's sunny and 56 up in the Bay Area. Sun in the Bay Area in the winter. That seems suspicious, doesn't it? Do they use solfege at MSU? I'm assuming the music theory quiz I'm supposed to take in April has a ton of vocal stuff on it. And I'm assuming that solfege is one of those systems they use. So yeah. So I put it on. These sheets as just one more way to think about the music. So yeah. So I assume. I don't know. I'm not a vocalist. I don't care what they do with solfege. I do care a little bit. Do I care a little bit? I care a little bit. I care because it's actually sort of a helpful thing when you're thinking about sound in your head. One, you bought a decent tuner, right? I just tried to order some from the warehouse, and they are out. So probably I'm going to be sending people to Amazon until I can get some. The one you want is the Snark Fully Chromatic. I think that's ST8, if I remember right. It cuts the challenge of tuning down dramatically. Second thing is Eddie 8 Dynamite, good by Eddie, EADGBE. Third thing is how you hold your guitar, right? You want it to be more or less in this position, because when you stand up at your first rock show, that's how the guitar is going to be hanging off your neck on a strap. So it makes sense, no matter what style of guitar you want to play, to be playing with this when you're sitting down. Okay? Farmer in the Dell has essentially the same two generally speaking lessons, the two ways of playing that are the same as Frere Jacques. The big difference here is we're in 6/8 time rather than 4/4 time. So you want to be thinking about 6/8 could be divided into two beats in a measure, 3 beats in a measure, or 6 beats in a measure. And for the most part, when you see 6/8, you're going to be thinking of it as 2 beats in a measure. The farmer in the dell beat. The farmer in the dell beat. What's really going on there is the farmer in the dell, 2, 3. The farmer in the dell, 2, 3, 4. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. So there's a lot of beats in a measure, and it gets very complex counting them out. And sometimes, there may be times when you're playing more complex music where you actually do count it in 6. But virtually all of the conducting that I've seen go on, very rarely do they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, it's just too much, right? So in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 makes a lot more sense to do it that way. With Farmer in the Dell, we want to let's start with just playing the melody. Make sure you know how it goes. It's one of the weirder songs ever, but it is what it is. So when we're playing the melody on this one, again, grab your A chord just like we did with Frere Jacques, index, middle, ring on strings 4, 3, and 2, and then let's go through and pluck it out, probably with thumb. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Lift your ring finger up and put it back. Oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. First string. Oh, oh, ring finger. Let's do it again. Very basic melody. You're keeping these two fingers on here the entire time, and the entire melody is either with this down or with this up, right? And one point where it drops down onto the first string. So the thought process there is, if you're holding the chord and your ring finger's doing all the work here, that's going to give you an opportunity to play the other strings as well, because they're busy holding the chord down. The second thought on this one is, those of you guys who are working at developing your classical chops and your fingerstyle chops, be thinking about this as I am. Close, not quite perfect all the way through, but I am, and then go through and do am I. Whoops. On those string crossings, it gets pretty confusing, so that you would do I and then M, and then the second time M and I. Then the third time you would do the same thing with your middle and ring. Oops. And so on, and then go back and do it ring into middle, and then finally index and ring. I think with long term, right, I'm using my fingers sort of straight there. You probably want them a little more curved, so you can actually are pulling up, but play it both ways, because sometimes it's going to make sense to do this rest stroke where your index finger, or whatever finger you're using, hits and rests on the string above it. You'll also be doing it with more of a claw shape to pull them out away from the guitar, called open strokes. Or free strokes, I think, is a better terminology for that. But a song like this be a good opportunity. Different than scales, right? Scales go all the way up and all the way back type thing. But this is a real song to give you a chance to practice all of those things. Mm-hmm. For those of you guys that are a little more looking for something to make things harder. Okay, let's grab the chord. A chord again. And then remember, if we're in 2, let's talk about different ways of strumming this. So first do just two thumbs. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell, hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. Now go to your claw. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell, hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. Now we're in 6, so now you can do thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. The farmer in the dell. The farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. Okay. So lots of different choices there in terms of how you handle this. Notice nothing's going on over here, so that's when less is going on over here, you can do more over here, ideally. The other one is the down up. If you're going to do down up in this case, so you're thinking of each measure in 2, the farmer in the dell. That doesn't really work, right? But so then you're going to double time your 2 strokes. So you'll actually end up strumming 4 times inside of a 6-beat measure. The farmer in, the farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. You see how difficult that gets, because you're sort of strumming 4 times inside of a 6-beat measure. That's why something like that, this down up, might not be the best choice, because it feels like it's in 4, and this time signature doesn't cooperate with 4 very well. All right, finally, tough axe. Again, we're just holding this. We're going to be moving this ring finger around, but instead of just plucking the melody out, we're actually going to be strumming down over all of the strings that we can. So the first note is a 2 on the 4th string, and then we're just going to strum 3 down, and then hit the bunch of 2s, strum it down again. A couple of decorative notes there. Hit the 0, and then strum down. All the way down. Ring finger moves, ring finger back. And you just got to be aware of when the ring finger is up versus when it's down. And then there is one spot where it drums down onto the 1st string for 1 note and then jumps right back. Okay. Second way to play that, of course, is with your claw. Okay, let's do that. 1, 2. And right here, at measure 5, you have a full A chord written out, but you have only 4 fingers. So typically your thumb will grab the lowest note, which is the 0 on the A string, and then your other 3 fingers are going to grab the higher notes. And then there, you go get away from that top string and bring everybody back together in a little clump. Let's do it again. Obviously quite different textures, right? When with clawing, this is the overall effect you get. And when you're thumbing, you get, which in my mind almost always sounds a little better. You just get a bigger, fuller, lusher tone on your guitar, but it's not always what you want, and so you want to be able to create both of those. Also, Elizabeth tipped me off this weekend to a guitarist who's crazy good. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but we have had I was just sitting there watching him, and just the way he uses the positioning of this hand up and down on the strings here. Sometimes he's down here. Right? Sometimes he's here. Even there were times when he was all the way up here. very different overall feelings using this. So be mindful as you're building up your tool set. Hey, sometimes I'll play down here, sometimes I'll play. This is probably the mostly normal place, right below the hole. But playing above the hole and even up onto the fretboard to get Edson Lopez. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good player. It might be worth you taking a minute to wander through YouTube to look at some of the stuff he's doing. But yeah, it's very fascinating to be thinking about. Hey, I've got this very basic song, but I want to practice all these different tools to get different sounds out. Hey, Warren. Warren Graham Music. I like that. glad you're here, Warren. Warren is expanding. He was blues, harmonica, and guitar, and now we're leading him into the dark side of fingerstyle. There's plenty of fingerstyle and blues guitar, by the way. All right, so there's Farmer in the Dell. Probably a little more thorough than we needed to be, but not necessarily. The other thing to think about with a song like this, again, you will be teaching somebody how to play guitar one of these days. You grab all of the songs out of book one. If you don't have a book one, you send me an email. I send you a book one. You guys, right? Just you guys that I know. And you start them off. Think about where you start. And we take that same song. Right? So now you're getting them into this position, and then your next step is to get them to really understand how tough acts work. Of course, we're at the same time as we're teaching them about rhythm and timing and holding a chord and right hand stuff. Mostly we're working on the thumb in the beginning, but we're also not neglecting the claw play, so that eventually, when you get to your arpeggio plucking, the farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Is oddly enough that simple idea, A chord with a nice right hand pattern, is surprisingly advanced for most players. Most players never actually get around to doing that. Here we are in lesson 3 in the book, and we're really focusing in on all of those things that are going to play a major role in their ability to play fingerstyle down the road. So hopefully you're thinking about not only studying this type of song, but then getting where you can give it to the next person, right? And no, they want to play Bohemian Rhapsody. I know. They want to play Stairway to Heaven. They want to play Hotel California. I know that, right? I know that. And there's YouTube videos where they can sit and do it. The problem is with those systems is they learn how to play that song, but they don't know how to play all songs. And that's what we do here, is we give you the tools to play all songs. And then you're like, yeah, I guess I will work on Hotel California. But it's most guitarists get it wrong. They get it backward, and that's why most guitarists quit, is they find how to play Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, and then they don't have the skills to go on to the next Pink Floyd song or the next whatever song, and they're stuck, and they just know how to play that one song really good. And then, obviously, if you don't want to know anything about music, then that's a way to go, is get really good at 4 or 5 songs. Nobody's ever going to listen to you play more than 4 or 5 songs anyway, probably. All right, Farmer in the Dell. Let's see, we've got all kinds of stuff going on over here. Edson Lopez, Warren. Nice to meet you. Oh, I killed it on Farmer in the Dell. All right, let's go on to book 2. Book 2. Thanks, Warren. We go on to book 2. Deo. This is a hard song, guys. This is not the kind of song that is just going to come right out of your guitar. The other problem with this song is that it is definitely folk music-y, in the sense that every single version of this you look at, it's a little bit different. And so I gave you what I think creates a bit of a challenge for you on this song. You're going to be using the D chord and the A chord, so that in and of itself is not very hard. But those of us in a certain age group, we've actually heard Harry Belafonte sing this, and so there's this thought in your head that this has to be that, and that's not. This is like that, but it's not that. And so you actually the real lesson here pointer is, hey, read the sheet music, find out what's here. So I want to start with the melody first. I want to talk about how to survive this melody, because it's surprisingly complex. And then we'll go back and strum it, and we'll see how it doesn't exactly fit in with the same thing that Harry Belafonte did. Both, maybe not better, but just different. Okay. And if you've never heard of Harry Belafonte, you should probably go Google or go into YouTube and type Harry Belafonte. Doesn't matter how you spell it; it'll know. And Deo, and you'll see. You're like, that doesn't seem like 1954 at all. All right, from the top, we're going to play the melody. When I'm getting ready to play a melody like this, where I see it's going to be all over the fretboard, I'm thinking, hey, I'll probably just use my chords. Okay, so hit the 3 and the 2, grab your D chord, hit the 3 and the 2. Let it ring, and then 3, 2, 0, 2, pinky over here on 4. This is my commitment to myself and to everybody on the planet. You really do want to play 4s with your pinky. You're going to miss a whole lot. You're going to miss a bunch of them. Reach over here, you'll grab the wrong string. You'll be up too far on a fret. You will not be far enough up. It'll be, and it'll sort of just be like, But we've got to be able to run this. This pinky is going to have to play notes on the 4th string and the 5th string, and so not in this song it won't. But this pinky is going to be super necessary to get some skills on that. And so if you're grabbing this D chord and you know your pinky's going up here to the 4th string, and you say, I'm doing this the rest of my life, I think you'll do yourself a favor. So it's 3, 2, 3, 2, 0, 2, 4. See, I missed it. And then back to your D chord. 3, 3, 2, 2, 3. Ring finger up. Middle finger up. 0, 3, 0, 2. Now you have a choice. So you've been holding this D chord. You can do 2, get your pinky up on 5, or do a cool thing, right, and just slide it up. You get a little bit of a zip, kind of a fun thing to do. If I'm on a guitar plugged into an amplifier, there's no question. And I'm going to do that so I can get that wham out the amplifier. Okay, so either way, and then if you go up to 5, obviously you got to jump back into position and measure 5. Let's go from there. Go. No, sorry. Let me start from 5 again. Ready, play. First section there, when we sing it, Harry Belafonte does it different. We sing it, what's on the paper here is day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home. Okay, so you see the measure 4, and you can see it clear as day on the standard notation, goes way up, and then when you come around the second time at measure 8, it goes down. Okay. Now, when you get to measure 9, you're holding D, and you see this whole series of 5s. So probably if you're playing melody, you switch to positional playing. Put your index on 2, pinky on 5. Right. So 2, 5, 5, 2, 2, 5. Again, pay attention to the standard notation because it's giving you the quarter notes and eighth notes clear as a bell. Long, short, 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 long. And then go down to measure 10. Probably just drop in your middle finger on the 3. 3, 3, 3, 0, 2, 2. Okay. And then go to back probably into D position for 11. 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 5. Go back to the D position. Or I'm sorry, I'll probably go back to positional here. 2, 2, 5, 5, 2, 2, 5. And then go on to page 2. Grab your middle finger for the 3. 3, 3, 3, 0, 2, 2. And you can do it just a mini bar to get both 2s, right? 2, 2. And then go into your 3 again. Your D shape, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3. Okay, so far, That basically conforms to most of the general thinking about either playing in your chord position or playing in positional position, and in this case you'll be playing in second position to make it easier to get your pinky up to 5, which puts your middle finger on 3. So that little section there makes sense. Then you got a problem here, major 17, you're going to go all the way up to 10, right? And so you got to be ready for that. My phone is just a spam central. I hardly ever answer it because of that. When we get to 17, obviously you're going to do 2s and 5s. And you got to pay attention to the standard notation here. Quarter note, eighth, quarter note, eighth quarter, and then probably take your pinky, which is on 5. Slide it up to 10, give it a little vibrato. You could do, but you're kind of missing an opportunity there for something fun and cool. To do that. And then it drops back out into that D position. So go to 19. I'm sorry, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, bunch. Okay, and then back to your D position. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Okay, so getting those 10s clean and pretty will be one of the fun parts of this melody. I think that's what I wanted to talk about on that. That's actually in one of my lessons. Clean notes on the high frets, right? The only way to get them perfect is to take your face off of the paper and make sure that you end up cleanly in the fret. You'll come up short or long almost every time. And so you're going to end up having to take your face off the paper. All right, let's run through the melody just one time through. Let's see how we do. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for me, this is about deciding whether I'm going to be playing as a chord or if I'm going to be playing positional. And so I made a couple of goofs on that. Position. I'm writing myself notes. Play this one position. 21 and 13, I think. I'm sorry, 12 is another place where probably position playing as you get toward the end there makes a lot more sense. So let's do it one more time. Let me see if I can identify specifically where I need to switch. Okay, so let's start with the chord. Ready, play. just a moment to switch to make a note to myself here so that I get it right when I teach it to you or later this week. That a few of these places you go from a chord position to a positional position to make your life easier. Go on to page 14. Go. Chord. Positional playing. Chord. Positional playing. Chord. So the song itself, there's no specific rule here, but the song itself does a very good job of making sure that you get an opportunity to practice playing in the chord shape sometimes, and then just playing melody straight up the neck. So that's just the melody itself. Now let's go through, take a look at the chords. Got a D chord in here. Day-o, day-o. If you got to be a decent singer to do like da-o, day-o, day-o. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Day-o, day-o. Daylight come and me. This is the hard part. Wanna go home. Right, you gotta get A, back to D. Say, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight, whoops, I missed the chord strum. Daylight come and me wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Okay, so the chords are not exactly, for sure, definitely a little bit different than what Harry Belafonte did, and so just be mindful of what's on the paper versus what you might be hearing in your head are different. Oh God, this guy, a text to buy my house. It's not for sale. When it's for sale, I'll put it on Realtor.com. You might look there. All right, next, then finally, let's wrap it up with the chord melody, tough acts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar chord there. Okay, back to D chord. Okay. Now you really got to make your stretch here. Bar with your 3. Bar on 10, middle finger on 11, and then you're going to actually hit the open note. Okay, it doesn't say that on there, but you could. Right? And that D is going to ring while you jump down to get 0, 3, 2 in the next measure. Okay. general sense of how the song goes this week, we'll be playing it again on Friday, but this is one you probably got to put in a little bit of time on to get it clean. And then in addition to that, we're supposed to be thinking about this as a Caribbean song, right? So getting a little bit of coolness in it. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home. Right, so getting a little bit of freedom in there, and the way you get that kind of stuff in music is to know the music better than we often do, because we're always working on the next song, right? But at this one, if you like it, stick with it and turn it into something. Also, if you're a singer, pretty easy to get something into it. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and me wanna go home, home. You always switch the chord there on it. Shouldn't. All right, so try to get some cool into it. All right, then book 3. We're running a little bit of short on time, so I want to give very short work to Amazing Grace, because actually of all of the songs that we can give short work to, it's Amazing Grace. Let's go grab it really quickly. Let me give you my thought process on Amazing Grace here. As we have done in other songs in Book 2, sometimes I put songs into keys that will make you work a little bit. So earlier in Book 3, we had something in the key of G. Oh, it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the key of G, which caused you to sort of have to use your C chord. Now in Amazing Grace, this is set in the key of C in order to sort of force you to use your F chord, and then back to C. Okay? so let's just sing it. 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. My point was to tell you about playing by ear. Get a C chord. Found, was blind, but now I see. Let's go do it again. Let me clean it up. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. So it makes you go to your F chord twice, just for one measure, and then get back off of it. And we have a tendency to avoid studying the F chord because it's a bummer. But be mindful. You know how the song goes, so you should be like, all right, I'm going to look a few measures ahead. I'm going to grab keep in my head which chords are coming up, and then I'm taking my eyes off the paper, putting my F chord on, making it as pretty and as clear as I can, and then getting back off of that. So, Amazing Grace, the melody is nothing. At level 3, you can play that. And frankly, the chord melody is not any harder than that. In fact, when you get to F chords in the chord melody, you can simplify just to 3, 2, 1. So if you get, the chord melody, the tough act is easier to play than singing it, and so that's really what I would think that you could do yourself a favor on with this one, is playing the chords, da dum da da dum 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 dum, right, and see how fast you can get from C to F and back to C. All right, Amazing Grace. We're not going to spend a ton of time on that. You guys can play that without me giving you overly much instruction. But I do want to talk Segovia Scale, so let's talk very briefly about them. I want those of you guys that are into it, right, to go through and really look for errors. But I spent a long time on it yesterday, and I think I have it right. The Segovia Patterns, you'll notice different than the usual sheet music. Above the top of the standard notation line, I have 2, 5, 2. That's position. So that tells you what position your hand is going to be in. So on the measure 1, which is your C scale, you're in second position, but your first note is actually going to be your middle finger on 3. And then notice your index fingers on 2. I also, so that's what those brackets are up there above the standard notation line, 2, 5, 2, and then you'll notice in the next scale, which is the A melodic minor pattern, you're start in 5th position, go to 9th position, end up in 10th position, go all the way up to 14th position, because you're going to actually play, here's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, you're going to actually play that note, okay? Believe me. I sent a note to Alex. I'm like, really? And he goes, you'll learn to like it. That was his response. I'm like, all right, I really don't like it right now, but we are going to play all the way up to 17. And then, the iPad has arrived. Oh my gosh. Donna has been ordered a new iPad, so very exciting. So we have, and it was supposed to get here on the 24th. Today's the 22nd. Come on, Apple. So there's that, and then, but don't do all of that stuff yet. Okay, just do the first line. Just do measure 1, and what you will find, the 3 and the 5. Okay, you're starting with your. And that's with the 2 above the standard notation under over do. And then 2, 3, 5. 2, 4, 5. But notice that 5 has a little star underneath it. That means a position change. And then you'll notice up above there, I tell you, you're going to play it with a 1, and you're going to be in 5th position. So that's when you slide to 5. 5, 7. And very consistently, okay, wherever your index finger is, the next 4 frets are your guitar frets, okay? So that's why playing position is important. You're going to jump into 5th position at that point. Then you magically already know that 5 will be covered by index, 6 will be covered by middle, 7 will be covered by ring, and 8 will become covered by pinky. No matter which position you're in, the next all 4 frets are always the same. So this hand never changes. On some of our fingerstyle stuff, we will stretch a pinky down on we're doing on Deo today, where it's normal to stretch a pinky down. But in classical music, it's much less common, at least in the early stages, to be doing anything other than this 4 fret pattern. You'll sort of be hanging on there. Obviously, as you get to more advanced music, you'll be stretching this way and stretching this way. But for the most part, and certainly in these scales, it's always 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever, and you just got to find your position. So where was I? At do, sliding up to 5th position on the third string. 5, 7, 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. 8, 6, 5, 7, 5. And then when you get that 5, you see a little star, change your position. And I wrote up there, use your 3, that's your ring finger. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Where am I? 4, 2. And then pinky 5, 3, 2, 5, 3. Okay, so that's your pattern, and each one of them, so every time there's a repeat, that tells you that's a complete thought. So measure 1 is a complete thought, measures 2 and 3 are a complete thought, and measures 4 and 5 are a complete thought. First line is your C major pattern. Second 2 measures are your A melodic minor pattern, and then at the bottom is the G pattern. And again, we're going to be ending up above here, and I will gather more information about the best way to attack those. The best way is to play electric guitar and have this cut out, and then you don't have to worry about how to get your hands down there. But we'd be working on that. So you have those to mess around with. We will play them for real on Friday. And so bring your questions over the next week about that. 2 ways of playing it, obviously free stroke, which is where you're pulling up with your fingers to create an open sound to it, and then your rest stroke, where you're actually your fingers resting up against the string above it. And usually I find rest stroke to be a little louder and a little punchier, and free stroke to be a little bit more sustained and a little less drama behind free strokes. And so, but it'll be interesting to see what you find out on these things. So we'll only work on measure 1 right now. That's the first one, and give you a chance to start messing around with some of that. And there we go. So Evelyn's out of here. She says, thanks. Good to see Evelyn. Vic, you're welcome. And again, if you are like, I want to do this the hard way, the Segovia, obviously, he doesn't have all of this additional help on there for you. He just has the sheet music. Although, to be honest, he does put in all kinds of fingering and which string you should be on and which. So he also is doing tablature just in a very difficult way, and we can just write it out on tabs and be done with it. So a lot more information than on his, probably a lot easier to think about than his. And I will tell you again, as I express often, I have yet to be convinced that working on your scales on guitar in this particular manner is necessarily super helpful for you, but it get you some more additional confidence in reading the sheet music a different way, thinking about your right hand in a different way, playing up to fret 17, which we will never do when I'm doing arrangements ever. And so there you go. That's some different stuff for you to mess around with. Elizabeth, thanks. Nancy, good to see you. Pauline, good to see you. And I'll see most of you guys tomorrow, and I'll see some of you guys later today for harmonica or ukulele. Go forth and be happy. I'm going to go peek at the new iPad. I'll talk to you a little later. Pulling the plug.